What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to The Fringe. Well, an election has officially been called in Canada, and of course, Canadians will be going to the polls in exactly 37 days, which is April 28th, as predicted by numerous media outlets this last week. The minimum. This is the minimum that must be given to the Governor General in order for an election to go through. And essentially, Mark Carney wondering if he can keep Canadians on a leash, that he can poison the sheeple to vote for him with his carrot on his stick by copying Pierre Poilievre's platform. I'm not sure how that's going to work out. Nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, we are in the threshold of the greatest election of our lifetime and the most important. It's very important that we cover this today and we talk about what Canada's headed in toward. Now, if you follow me over on X, you'll notice that this past weekend, not only did I give my official endorsement to Pierre Poilievre for Prime Minister, but also am giving my full support and endorsement to my regular MP, Stephanie Kusi of Calgary-Minnepoor, great friend of the channel. I'm hoping to get her back on here before the election, but also Dane Lloyd, as anybody who hasn't tuned into our live streams aren't maybe aware, the Fringe is moving this week. We've packed up, we're leaving Calgary and headed for Spruce Grove, where, of course, Dane Lloyd is now our new MP. But again, I follow Dane in the House of Commons. I think he does a great job as well. Definitely deserving of that endorsement. And again, I'll try to get Dane Lloyd on the channel as soon as possible to maybe talk policy, talk about what the Conservatives are looking to do. And I'll try to keep you guys up to speed with everything dropping this week. Again, it's going to be a little wish-washy this week because of the move. But rest assured, anytime something drops, hang out here on The Fringe. You'll find the information you're looking for as we head into, again, the most important election of our lifetime. I think it's important that we really look at the pages here of the books and support change. We want change. We don't want 4 more years of this corrupt Liberal government. I want to show you where Mark Carney's already spending money, because this was so cringeworthy. If you remember about a week or two ago, we covered on the channel a video of Mike Myers. If you don't know Mike Myers off by hand, you probably should. Austin Powers, Shrek, Wayne's World, Saturday Night Live. His resume is very extensive. Of course, coming back into Canada, keep in mind he's an American who has made all of his money in America. He's an American citizen, I should say. He's a Canadian living in America, just like Mark Carney, who comes down only when the money's available to them to line their pockets. Mark Carney putting out this terrible, terrible, cringeworthy elbows up ad. I know people who've probably seen it know how cringeworthy it is. I want to highlight it because it's already had 7.3 million views on Twitter. This is scary. Take a look.
Let's go. Mr. Prime Minister, Mike Myers, what are you doing here?
I just thought I'd come up and check on things.
You live in the States.
Yeah, but I'll always be Canadian.
But you live in the States.
Yeah, so?
Do you remember Mr. Dressup?
The children's show on CBC?
What were the names of Mr. Dressup's 2 puppet friends?
Casey and Finnegan?
Bud the
Spud?
Howie?
Meeker?
Capital Saskatchewan?
Regina?
Tragically?
Pip?
You're a defenseman defending a 2-on-1. What do?
Take away the pass, obviously.
What are the 2 seasons in Toronto?
Winter and construction.
Wow. You really are Canadian.
Yeah, but let me ask you, Mr. Prime Minister, will there always be a Canada?
There will always be a Canada.
All right, elbows up.
Elbows up.
I really don't understand this whole elbows up thing. I don't get what it means, but you can also see, of course, Mike Myers wearing a Never 51 jersey on the back. Really funny considering, again, he lives in the United States. The dialogue in here, especially at the beginning, like Mark Carney could really use a lesson in acting. Just listen to him when he's cheering on these players. Let's go. It's terrible.
Let's go.
Like, it's just so horrible and awful. The fact that Mike Myers is allegedly paid roughly $25,000, according to the reports that I have found. He was flown out at the expense of taxpayers because, in the Liberal funding for their campaign, I'm guessing, as well as $20-some-odd thousand to give, I guess, Mark Carney his Kamala Harris moment. If anything, I hope this is the writing on the wall for Canada. I've often said American elections often influence Canadian elections. I'm hoping this is a Kamala Harris moment where Mark Carney tries to pump up his name by bringing in celebrities when realistically nobody cares. I like that you've got good friend of the channel, Bradshaw, here. So 2 millionaires who made their money in the U.S. is telling us elbows up. Both left Canada because we weren't good enough for them. I wonder how much Carney paid Mike Myers. Again, I've done my research. I've looked into it. It's around the sum of $23,000 to $25,000 from what I've seen floating around on social media. Take that with a grain of salt. Again, that's just the hearsay running around on social media. What's funny about that, when you look at Mike Myers, is this clip of him bragging about being an American. Let's take a look at this.
I love Washington, D.C. I mean, oh my God.
Fascinating.
It's a great
I'm an American citizen now, gratefully so. I gave him a speech about what a great country this is and what a privilege it is to be in this country. Some pretty strong ideals that my British parents, growing up in Canada and my now American citizenship stand for. I don't take it lightly at all. It's a very, very important thing to me.
So for a guy who doesn't take it very lightly at all, who says elbows up, it's of course nothing to take very lightly when it comes time to get a big paycheck, right? Shill for Mark Carney, shill for the Liberals. Canada cannot afford 4 more years of this. This is why I keep saying we're in the most important election of our lifetime. I'm just curious how many sheep are going to buy into this. If you saw over the weekend in Toronto, Olivia Chow hosting a elbows up rally. A lot of people buying into what's going on. Real scary. What's really funny is that Mark Carney himself, of course, is a big hypocrite. Here's Heresy tweeting out Mark Carney in his own words. Little confusing here. Let's take a listen to what Mark Carney used to have to say, especially when he was confronted by Rebel News quite some time ago. Here we go.
What advice would you have for the youngster?
Going to a central banker for political advice is never a good idea.
Come on.
Going to a central banker for political advice is never a good idea. Yet, look who's in charge right now. Well, soon to be in charge. The polls are definitely shifting for Pierre Poilievre. They're definitely moving in favor of the Conservatives, especially since Pierre, again, has come out. He's stopped with the slogans. He's starting to talk about policy. He's starting to talk about mass deportation. He's starting to show a little bit of teeth. He's going to have to show a little bit more, I think, if he's going to pump up his numbers again. Now that the election has officially been called, I think it's safe to say we're going to start seeing a little bit more aggression from the Conservatives. But of course, Mark Carney is now running in, I believe it's Nepean. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing the town or the riding. Of course, this was Chandra Ayra's riding. Keep in mind, they booted him out. They not only disqualified him from the Liberal leadership race, but they've booted him out. This is his competitor, his competition in the area, Barbara Ball, who's coming in against him for the Conservatives. Now, of course, Barbara only had 1,400 followers less than 12 hours ago. She's gone viral. Guys like the Pleb, other social media outlets are pushing for Barbara to get some followings. Wouldn't it be great? Now, Old Fringe isn't going to sit here and say, hey, we need to rig it and push and everything else, because we all know how that goes when it came to the Liberal leadership race. But it would be great if we could get some following behind Barbara. Push out her campaign, push out her narrative, because it would just be awesome. Absolutely awesome if the people in this riding voted in favor of a Conservative and Mark Carney didn't even win his seat. It says here that 12 hours ago she had 1,400 followers. Now she's at 12,600. Let's keep exploding her account. Let's go. Of course, you can see her account right here at Barbara Ball, CPC. Even the Pleb tweeting out Carney's opponent in Nepean is only 6,600 followers at the time he put out his tweet. Follow her and let's blow this account up. Let's take down the Liberal leader. Of course, since then, at the time of filming of this video, she's over 9,000, 10,700. Again, Mark Nixon reporting out she was at 12,600 at the time of filming this video. So again, could be much, much higher by the time you guys head over there. If you're on social media, if you're on X, go give Barbara a follow. Let's share out any of her messaging, any of her videos. The Conservatives need a win here. They really need a win. This is one thing I want to highlight with Pierre, because he's definitely, this is again where he's showing some teeth. I think he's going to have to shift gears if he wants to win this election, if he wants to convince people that he's not just uniparty, that he's not liberal light. These are the things people want to hear about. Let's take a listen.
We'll cap immigration and stop the radical Century Initiative, which seeks to almost triple our population to 100 million people. A crazy idea still endorsed by liberals and their top advisors. That will end when I am Prime Minister. We will also keep fraudsters, and criminals out of our country, and we will crack down on bogus claims. On immigration, like everything else, we will put Canada first for a change.
So I like that. I mean, people could say, well, he's still using the slogans with Canada first. We have to remember that Canada does need to come first in this election. Now, keep in mind to tune into the channel tomorrow. I'm going to be talking a little bit about Danielle Smith's clear message to the Liberals as well as to Canada moving forward in the next election. Again, there's going to be a lot of things moving around here, folks, so stay tuned to the channel. We're going to have a lot of information coming out as this election drops. And of course, we'll be doing our part, whether it's this channel, The Pleb, Moose on the Loose, whether it's Clinton Jaws, whether it's Viva Fry, anybody on this platform pushing out the messaging that, hey, this is the time to get involved. This is the time to make sure, even if you feel, hey, my vote never mattered, it doesn't matter in the long run, I'm not going to bother, why bother at all? This is the election that if you're ever going to cast a ballot, even if it's not for the Conservative Party, this is the most important election we will probably see in our lifetime. I would encourage everybody to make sure you're registered properly, make sure you get your voter card, make sure you get out, and make sure that when you go to the polls, they're properly checking ID, make sure that they're following the rules. There's no shenanigans going on, especially with Mark Carney. I shudder to think about what's coming ahead for Canadians on election night. I would also caution everybody, don't buy into the polls, don't listen to the polls. These are all falsely generated. They're taking money from liberal sources to rig the polls in their favor. I've always said, and take my word as a little bit of direction at the very minimum, the election isn't called until election night. Polls are just that. They're just polls. Get out and vote. Make sure you get out and vote. We definitely need to push for Pierre. Certainly not telling anybody how to vote. Vote how you want to. If you want to vote PPC, vote PPC. If you want to vote Liberal, I don't know what you're doing here watching videos, but vote Liberal. If you want a change in this country, if you want Canada to come first, I do believe in my heart of hearts, the Conservatives are the way to go. Again, I've given my endorsement. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments if it's your first time here. I hope this video has earned your subscription. Keep in mind, now that an election has been called, suppression on social media is going to be massive. They do this every election. They've done it during the pandemic. You've all seen those numbers. Make sure, if you haven't yet, click the subscribe button. Click it for every channel you follow and turn on your bell for all notifications so that you're aware and you're given the information every time a new video drops from any of us so that you're getting the information you need heading into this election. It's very important, very crucial, ladies and gentlemen. With that said, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I'll catch you on the next one.